Chriselda, a very good morning to you once again. Where today the judge Thokozile Masipa will begin hearing pre-sentencing arguments, and it looks like the spotlight is on Judge Masipa once again.
Well, certainly, Palisa, the spotlight certainly is once again back on Judge Thokozile Masipa. What certainly needs to happen in this matter is that Judge Thokozile Masipa cannot be seen to be too lenient when she does make that decision. But pre-sentencing arguments will begin in this court this morning. We're expecting the defense and the state once again to go head-to-head in this matter. In the state, of course, saying that Oscar Pistorius should spend a minimum of 15 years in jail for shooting and killing Reeva Steenkamp. And the defense, of course, wanting to put mitigating factors that will perhaps get Oscar Pistorius off slightly lighter. They do not want him to spend that 15 years in jail. And certainly, some of the mitigating factors that they might put across is that this court would need to take into account Oscar Pistorius' personal circumstances and his disability. What the defense would want to do is to try and convince this court that Oscar Pistorius cannot be treated like, if I may, a normal person, and that his disability and the fact that Oscar Pistorius fell from superstardom is one of the things that they will say this court needs to take into account, that Oscar Pistorius would never again be able to live as the man that he once lived as a global superstar, of course, in the sporting fraternity. But the state, of course, in this matter would want to push for that minimum sentence for murder, which is 15 years in prison. Of course, you'd remember they were quite aggrieved when Judge Thokozile Masipa had found him guilty of culpable homicide. So that serious indictment on Judge Thokozile Masipa, when the Supreme Court of Appeal found that the culpable homicide conviction was incorrect and replaced that with murder, seriously will also be under the spotlight here this morning inside this court. But I think also very crucially as well, Palisa, is that not to jump the gun, but in the event that Judge Thokozile Masipa does not meet out that 15-year sentence as the state wants, the state does have the option of appealing that sentence if it feels that Judge Thokozile Masipa is lenient, if she gives him less than 15 years. And the defense, on the other hand, if it feels that she's too harsh, they also have the option of going to the Supreme Court of Appeal at a later stage. But that would be jumping the gun. It certainly remains to be seen what will happen inside this court. Also, crucially, is the witnesses that will be called in this particular matter. We're expecting a very close friend or a family member of Reeva Steenkamp to take the stand for the state to testify about the impact that her death has had on the family. And of course, perhaps someone from correctional services as well would then be able to testify that the correctional facilities in this country are ready to accommodate someone with a disability like Oscar Pistorius. It's expected then that after all these proceedings are done, Oscar Pistorius will return to the Kgosi Mampuru prison, which is here in Pretoria. But certainly, the big question at this point is that we all do know that Oscar Pistorius will return to jail, but the big question is exactly for how long.
Well, thank you very much to our reporter there, Chriselda Lewis, live from the Pretoria High Court. We will be keeping a close eye on this story throughout the day.